They convicted Marcus Ellery of first-degree murder in November 1997. The jury took 4 hours. He got life. Then, in the fall of 2019, a paralegal cataloging old evidence boxes found lab case report 97 CR 2241, the original toxicology file the state had declared destroyed. So why did the analyst's own handwritten notes say the result was inconclusive? The case, as prosecutors told it, was simple. Diane Ellery, 43, died on March 9, 1997 after 2 days in the cardiac unit at St. Luke's Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio. Cause of death: acute kidney failure. The attending physician flagged it. Toxicology was ordered. The state crime lab came back with one finding: ethylene glycol, antifreeze, the kind you drain out of a radiator. Marcus Ellery, her husband of 11 years, worked at an automotive supply warehouse 3 miles from their home. The prosecution built the entire case on that single compound. The lab said it was there. The expert said he was certain. The jury believed them both. Lab case report 97 CR 2241 is a 7-page document, the original, not a copy, not a scan. It surfaced inside a brown archival box marked Storage 4C at the Franklin County Evidence Facility, 22 years after it was supposed to have been submitted to the prosecutor's office. A paralegal named Karen Voss found it while clearing space for a renovation. She photographed every page before logging the find. Page 3 is the one that matters. It contains the analyst's working notes for the ethylene glycol screen, and in the lower left corner in blue ink, a line that reads, "Result borderline. Confirm with secondary GCMS panel." GCMS, gas chromatography mass spectrometry, is the gold standard confirmatory test for identifying a specific compound in blood. That second panel was never run. The box was sealed the same afternoon. At trial, the state's expert, Dr. Gerald Patton, testified under oath that the laboratory findings were, quoting from page 14 of the trial transcript, unambiguous and consistent with acute ethylene glycol poisoning. He was not asked whether a confirmatory test had been ordered. He was not asked whether the preliminary result had been flagged as borderline. Defense counsel never saw report 97 CR 2241. The prosecution had disclosed a 1-page document, Lab Summary 97 CR 2241-S, listing only the preliminary finding and a single conclusion column marked positive. The words borderline and confirm with secondary panel do not appear on that summary. They appear only on the original. In plain language, the only scientific evidence placing the cause of death as antifreeze poisoning was a screen the lab's own analyst flagged as insufficient to stand alone. And Marcus Ellery has been in prison for 27 years on the strength of it. But the secondary test wasn't even the strangest part. Defense attorneys reviewing the newly surfaced report in 2021 filed a public records request for every document associated with lab case 97 CR 2241. They received 23 pages. The original contains 31. 8 pages are unaccounted for. The crime lab's chain of custody log, the internal record tracking every time a file is checked out, copied, or transferred, shows the report was accessed 3 separate times between April and July of 1997. The third access, dated July 11th, lists one name in the checkout column, Dr. Gerald Patton, the expert who testified at trial. He reviewed the original report 6 weeks before he took the stand. The 8 missing pages cover the section of the file labeled Analyst Supplemental Findings. Here is where it stops looking like an oversight. Ethylene glycol and propylene glycol produce nearly identical signals on a basic toxicology screen. Propylene glycol is not antifreeze. It is a pharmaceutical carrier compound found in injectable medications and certain cardiac drugs. Diane Ellery had been prescribed 2 medications in the months before her death, both of which, according to their FDA package inserts, contain propylene glycol as an inactive ingredient. That information was in her medical file. Her cardiologist testified at trial that she was medically fragile prior to March 1997 and that her kidney function had been declining for months. The defense requested her full pharmaceutical records before trial. The prosecution provided a partial disclosure. The records showing propylene glycol-bearing medications were not among them. Pair that with the unconfirmed preliminary screen, the 8 missing pages, and the fact that the expert who swore to certainty personally reviewed the original report before he took the stand, and coincidence becomes a very hard argument to sustain. Marcus Ellery has filed 4 appeals. All 4 were denied. The third denial in 2011 cited the forensic evidence as having been thoroughly and properly presented at trial. The judge who wrote that opinion had previously served as an assistant prosecutor in Franklin County. He was not recused. Dr. Gerald Patton retired in 2009 with a commendation from the state attorney general. The Franklin County Crime Lab was audited in 2014 following a separate scandal involving mislabeled blood samples. That audit covered cases from 2001 to 2012. It did not cover 1997. No one requested that it should. The prosecutor who tried Marcus Ellery was elected to the county bench in 2001. He is still there. None of this proves Marcus Ellery is innocent, but it tells you precisely who benefited from a lab report sitting in a box marked Storage 4C for 22 years. The confirmatory GCMS test the lab's own analyst flagged as necessary in March of 1997 has never been run. The biological sample still exists, held in the Franklin County Evidence Facility. The court has twice denied motions to test it. No written explanation has been entered into the record. The answer to whether Marcus Ellery poisoned his wife may be sitting in a sealed vial right now. The system just keeps saying no.